Hello, it's good to have you join us. This is Close Flow, your exciting personality talk show on the NTA2 Lagos Network Center. It's always our delight to be here. Be sure that you are also out there waiting for us to unveil yet another distinguished Nigerian who is going to be sharing with us, experiences, perceptions, impressions, and of course, vision of how the story of Nigeria, the narrative about our country, the truth about, the potentials of what Nigeria should be in the global space, and how all of us as Nigerians can actually own up to our responsibility as the citizens of what they refer to as the giant of Africa. Now, how true be some of these, commentaries about Nigeria, how true are they? How very valid, how genuinely civilized are they when we make this statement or this comment about Nigeria? Yes, there are so many facts, there are so many data that we can look at to actually position Nigeria as the giant of Africa. Now, the issue remains the role that we play as citizens in navigating the impressions that Nigeria creates globally and the impressions that Nigerians as citizens of this same aspiring greatest nation on earth also play internationally. So we decided to look at the question of how we can actually develop Nigeria as citizens. What are the panacea that we need? What are the solutions that we should employ, that we should create? What are the, innovative thinking, innovative thought processes that we must employ, we must engender to see how the truth of the greatness of Nigeria can be shared to the world. Now, if you look at some of the Bureau of Statistics information that we have been told that Nigeria actually, because we have 27 to 33% of our people who are actually unemployed, will make us the second largest unemployed nation globally. We are also told that 60% of Nigeria's working age population, that is Nigeria Gen X, Y, Z, they are aged below 34 years. So Nigerian youths are actually or virtually living on the street. That is what we have been told. Now, the question therefore is, if this is true, how are we going to help the next generation to take ownership of the responsibility of becoming nation builders? How are we going to help them, fortify them with the courage to say, yes, I'm a Nigerian, I would rather stay in Nigeria, I would rather live in Nigeria and make Nigeria survive rather than Japa? Now, these are the elements of the discussions or the conversation we are going to have with a distinguished Nigerian, a Nigerian who by birth is a Nigerian, but by choice, by his altruistic choice, is a global citizen. Here is a Nigerian who has vowed to remain a Nigerian, who has committed himself to his passion, his dream about Nigeria, in spite of opportunities outside of Nigeria. He is not saying that Japanomics is not working. He's saying that, yes, but Japanomics should be the next level of development for Nigerians. So who is our guest? Just give us a few minutes, then you get to meet who our guest is, and then the whole story can be unraveled. Stay with us. So there we have him. That is the distinguished Nigerian. He's a professor. He's my very good friend. Besides the fact that he's a chaplain, the important thing is that he's a leading Nigerian, a convinced Nigerian that this country can be the greatest nation on the face of the earth. Professor, you're welcome to Close Floor.
God bless you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, now, Professor Christian Nwanne, please, it's important that we, on the get-go, let's face Nigerians and let's speak to them truthfully. Now, the figures that we just cited, coming from the Bureau of Statistics, that is the national agency, monitoring data on how we are evolving as a nation, both socially and economically. So we are saying that Nigeria is the second nation with the most number of unemployed persons globally. Now, as a chaplain, as somebody who encourages people, who empowers people, are you not discouraged? Are you not frightened by that figure?
Thank you for the question. I'm not frightened at that figure, but the figure is correct.
Yes.
Close to be correct is correct, because the fact that there are proofs that people are leaving a nation to other nations, that also explains that such figure is correct. Because you remember some years ago, the issue of the world, sorry to use that, Ghana must go.
Yes.
We were chasing them back.
Away from here.
How many Ghanaians are still in this country? How many Ghanaians are in this country? They are less in so many other countries. That today see this. People are relocated. January this year, I was having a program in Togo.
Yes.
Only to realize that people got stopped sleeping in park stations, transiting down to Ghana, just for green pastures. The same Ghana we sent back, that is how backward this country is economically. So the rate of poverty, unemployment and all of that is overwhelming. So it's overwhelming. So that figure is correct. I'm not frightened, just like your question stated.
Yes.
Why? Because I'm that Nigerian because of the way I came into this world, the way I was raised. Everybody came into this world, but we came differently, and we're going differently. The way I came into this world, I believe that I'm a continuity of some ancient decisions, some ancient assignments and mandates. So I don't reason proper. I don't even understand myself. Sometimes, a situation you find yourself in a country, like a country, South Africa.
Yes.
In the midst of the Nigerians, they say that criminally,
yes,
criminally involved and heightened to a particular height. You brought out your secretary to be like
the consul.
To be like a consul.
Yes.
Administering to consul matters, doing xenophobia issues and all of that. People that lost their passports, they will come list it down.
To your own office.
Stand on their behalf to follow it up, to make sure, even right from the time of Marwa and all of that, to make sure that, you're serving Nigerian purposes, even in diaspora. Nobody's paid you for that, and you don't even want to be paid for it.
Yes.
That you have to fight and defend your country. So I believe in Nigeria, in and out and anywhere. And because of that, we decided to, instead of fighting the government, advocating against what is happening in the government, I have advocative spirit that if I don't find solution to whatever that is happening, I will be the worst advocate.
Please say that again. If you cannot develop the solution.
If I can't develop the solution, I'll be worse than those who are fighting against the government. So because of that, I'm a spirit-controlled cancer as a child of God. So for that reason, I channel my energy on how to do some. Government cannot do everything in any country, but we expect them to do better than what they are doing already. But then my passion now was channeled and my energy was pushed on how to help to solve the problems, how to help to do what and those things government cannot do for us, using our platforms and our joint protocols in different countries, bringing them together to see how we can and even help alleviate poverty, empower the youths, and as the case.
Okay, let's come to that.
So because of that mindset, I'm not afraid of the number, because if you decide in the next 5 years you are raising of independent 5,000 entrepreneurs, just like WIG has,
Yes.
you know, as projected already. You know, I'm seeing 5,000 people not only coming out of joblessness or out of poverty, but standing on their feet to help others.
To become employers.
To become employers of labor. See, if so many people are doing the same, I believe Nigeria still have a future.
Okay, we will share his belief when we give you the telephone line so that you can send in your questions or your comments if you don't agree with him. He's telling you, I've told you, he's very courageous. He's not scared about the status of Nigeria. He's saying you must find solution. You must be a spirit-led person to find solution because government cannot solve all the problems. But we will not leave the government issue. Now, we are here, Prof, to look at empowerment and skill acquisitions as a panacea that we need for, like you said, developing sustainable socio-economic development of our nation. Sustainable. It is not the one that we go one step forward today, then we go 10 steps backward tomorrow. So, you think that is possible in this same Nigeria you're talking about?
Yeah, it's possible because the projections of WIG, for instance, World International Economic Group, in their programs for the youth.
Yes.
In the programs for the youth, especially in the area of youth empowerment and skill acquisition,
yes,
you know, programs is sustainable. It's sustainable. Both WIG and DICCI are affiliate of United Nations Sustainable Development
Goals. Yes.
Goals, and
yes,
that is what, you know, we are pursuing. And a vision, a dream, you know, drives to be sustainable when you have put systems in place, you know, that we.
No. Let's repeat that, please, Chancellor. Let's repeat that. The vision is what, or the dream is what?
I say for
the vision, yes, or the dream, yes, to be realistic, yes,
to be realistic and yes, consistent, you know, to be sustainable.
Yes.
To be sustainable. It then means that you have to put systems in place.
Structures.
Yeah, structures in place. Like we, for instance, we have coordinators in 25 states in this country, and they have already up to 1,400 coordinators. I mean, to the grassroots. This structure has been set in place, sustained for over 2 years before, you know, these programs are coming up. We have state coordinators.
You have already deployed.
We have state coordinators, zonal coordinators, we have national executives and all that. And every local government, almost, apart from 6 states, and there are few, we have covered 25 states and 1,400 plus local governments that have representative foot soldiers to deliver the mandate of WIG to make sure that youths are helped and empowered.
That is the kind of structure you're talking about. Yeah. That we must show the commitment of the dream we are talking about.
Yes. So if it's like political structure, if you have the leader of our kinsman,
yes,
you know, representing us, you know, in our ward, in our local government,
yes,
you know, who comes to a national meeting, a state meeting, advocates on behalf of the needs of the people,
community, yes,
the community, and comes back
to deliver
it. We have covered the grassroots, so it all began with the structure. And for you to sustain it, you know, you need to. That's the reason why we have state coordinators.
Yes.
You know, there is like, you know, rule of engagement. We have chain of command.
Yes.
Chain of command. So the state coordinator reports to the state reps. The state reps reports to, you know, the zonal coordinators, to the national. So this is followed up and is implemented in different countries of WIG. And this particular aspect of the structure, WIG says 25 leaders can run WIG in the different nations. I say no. In my country, if it does not run the way political structures are, you can't cover the country. And they approved it.
Wow.
And when the catalog came out, they approved it for all WIG nations.
Wow.
And that's, you know, a kind of promoted me, which is higher responsibility and restlessness to ensure that that same structure is implemented in other countries.
Okay, now let's borrow your brain. Now, your work for the UN, for instance, or with all the international bodies, will make you to be going around the whole world. So, can you give us a perspective, looking at Nigerians, looking at other countries? I mean, even from Africa, Ghana, Togo, South Africa, Kenya. Is it the citizens? Is it a question of what the citizens are not doing, or the fact that we don't have the structures for us to actually engage the citizens in nation building? How do you define it?
Sir, you quite know already in the Western world, the Western nations, and most of the nations where systems are working.
Yes.
The reason why it works is this: you pay a supervisor higher than the people that does the job. You triple the fees, you triple the salaries of the supervisors, and somebody could say that they're doing nothing. They moves around, walks around, put their hands at their back, moving around. They can't even sit at one place. You can't find them engaged into any activity, but they're paid high. You know why? Because human being is wired in a way that human beings does not work without supervision.
Oh.
In Nigeria, all over the world, they don't function. They can function without supervision.
And here we are.
So imagine if you complain about the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, who the states have their state allocations to work in their states and all of that. He wouldn't be slapping them and beating them, but then one thing is the issue. We have members of the House. You set up supervision, create a new office who supervises what the state governors does or what those
local government
does and give you report direct. Now, if you have supervisors and supervisor is empowered, to make a report that can suspend the person's, that can take the person out of seat, that will put you at the court to defend yourself based on the report. If you have people who supervises and report, and that report, can revoke your license to the office, your certificate,
to occupy that office.
If you have such supervision, this is the only way the presidency has is safe.
I see.
That's the only way it is
and
safe.
That structure
as far as
covers
it's not a confederation for confederational states.
Yes.
There should be a national supervision to what is done, from one state, local government or the other. If that is done, or if there is an agency that does that, it then means they're not doing their job. Because if they're doing their job,
there will not be this status.
See, the job well done from states down to the world.
Yes.
Job well done from states down to the world. We boost Nigerian economy and create a better or reface to what people think about the Nigerian nation.
But
not focusing on the president
alone. No, I agree with you on that.
He has limited power somehow.
No, but the point is, on a comparative scale, looking at Nigeria, looking at Ghana, looking at South Africa, for instance, just let's say 3 countries.
Okay.
So how would you rank this statement you have made about the structure to manage those who are at the top straight to the bottom of the pyramid?
Okay, let me see. Like in a nation, South Africa. South Africa is a nation that a sitting president can be going to the court. A sitting president has the chances of being taken out of the office. Is attending to court matters on crime and all of that. Verify. A sitting president, governors, provincial leaders, municipal leaders, and all of that. So for the fact you are there is not that you will be proved after your office. No, while you are there, people are contesting, complaining, reporting, and those reports, is strong enough to take you out of office, revoke your license of office, your certificate of office.
Wow, that is in South Africa.
Yeah, in South Africa. Yes, in Ghana, I followed, a broadcast whereby a police general, was put on check. Complaints made by people, and it is, Ghana is a broadcast nation, even when Nigeria wasn't. It's a broadcast nation, so it was being broadcasted. Why did you go and meet so and so, and all of that? You see, with the high mighty general of police, we are being decided by the people, their suggestion of the populace on what happens if he will be kept, if he
in
was
the office.
In the office, and so such system does not exist in this country.
No.
So now is the peculiarity of You know, the political structure in Nigeria is different. You know, there is sitting, you know, a city appointee is
cannot
like a god until his tenure is over. Then EFCC could now set in. It's not like that in too many other countries. Nigeria is less protesting country all over the world. You know, why? Because they believe in the mindset that they can survive.
Okay, so that is a positive element, though, about the resilience of Nigerians. Yes. Okay, now, but let's find a way how that positive element of our resilience can now be used to. Some people are saying
against us.
Yes, some people are saying that culturally, religiously, we seem to have some kind of awesome regard given to our cultural heritage, you know, the way we worship.
In the area of leadership?
No, not in leadership, but the way we worship, our cultural observation, cultural motifs and things. I mean, some people are saying, for instance, rather than swearing when you want to take office with the Bible or with the Quran, you go and swear with juju. That would probably make people, you know, function better. But so, how do you react to such a statement?
Well, swearing at juju. Do you know that most of the politicians, some of them, their religion is also juju. So how can juju not protect juju if you use juju? The religion they practice, forget about what they take. Most of them practice juju religion.
That we are talking about.
Juju religion. Now you want to take the juju priest will not take you on oath. How will juju priest allow you to die after taking the oath? Because we have seen in the rural areas, villages and all that, where somebody will go and bribe the juju priest, the oracle priest.
Yes.
And you will swear, and you have been given neutralizer before you come and swear. And you will not die. An innocent person, they will project to innocent person to suffer the consequences of what he did not do.
So the corruption has even affected all that.
Now, Nigeria is a place that they said, after all the prayer of Christians and Muslims, why is the country like that? Let me tell you, take away those prayers. Here will be worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. Yes. Why the hand of God is seized, not to destroy this country. Which abomination does not happen? No, which one? They still God answering prayers and forgiving the people, you know, daily, out of his infinite mercy, you know, that the nation is
still remaining.
Go to prayer mountains. See people that have not come down from the mountain for 5 years praying for this country. If God does not answer those prayers, this country will be called, not just Nigeria, nobody will exist in this country. Yes, so therefore they are important. And Nigeria is the Nigeria that believe in, like you talked about, cultural influence.
Yes. Cultural influence.
The same way you respect your Oba, your king. The same way we respect our pastors. You see members bowing down for their pastor, kneeling down. You know, religion is attached to culture. You can't separate culture from religion. You know, and the same way we also respect those who are placed in authority.
Yes.
Just like scriptures advises us. But at the same time, they should
pray for your leaders.
They should also be committed to their oath of office, because Nigerians are going through a lot. We just finished giving back to the community, you know, with Wiegonyouthempowerment local government.
Wiegonyouthempowerment, yes.
Local government, giving back to the community and community town hall, where people come air their views and all that. I think 50 widows was empowered, you know, and all of that. So when you hear people out, we are in the midst of the people, and in different countries, when you hear people out, you really know what they are going through. You know, if not for benevolence Nigerians and all of that, some people will be killing people
on the street
or drink their urine and all of that. So a lot is going on. A lot is going on.
Okay, I like that again, practicalizing the street level experience.
Yeah.
Now, so let's. I love to borrow your brain because of your international or global, exposure. Now let's come back. Now, dealing with South Africans, for instance, as a Nigerian, what are the lessons that you learned from that relationship, that interaction?
The lessons I learned, in which area? Humanitarian, political,
everything. Yes.
South Africa has a system that supports NGOs. They support NGOs.
Just like Nigeria supports NGOs.
Yeah, they support individuals. Yeah, Nigeria's Ministry of Humanitarian is in every in every country. What I say they support is that, you know, supermarkets, shops, and all of that, it is a law that the moment an NGO applies, to release groceries, do all of that, support their programs and projects and all of that. So here is not like that.
It's not like that.
Yeah, you do it at will, or the extent the government can go to help. Individuals here does a lot of things, but their systems we advise, to do that. I remember, running humanitarian organization for more than 10 years. In the first 10 years of running it in South Africa, we have 2 non-profit licenses under the voice of Chaplaincy.Corps, then under United Chaplain State of New York, which I represent in Africa, as at then. So with these licenses, you were made to collect groceries, but I remember close account, short account, over and over and over, go out of the way. We put money together, doing what we were asked, to receive support from or collect from government and other. We never collected cash. We never put tender for 1 million, 1 million rands, 500, 100,000, which they could have given, because we have indigenous chaplains. The system is full of indigenous officers. So we didn't take advantage of that. You know why? Because I'm a Nigerian. I became careful because I'm a Nigerian. Already they have believed that this is how this set of people behave because of poverty or because of they come here for. But our system began to run here before I traveled. We took
South Africa,
a branch of it there. So we didn't go there to look for, no, we went there even to serve, to spend, to serve. And so my own job was a different thing. And every month you're in this country, sometimes 12 times in a year, I live there 2 years. We didn't live here alone. We were carrying like vision for Africa. So what I learned is this. I learned that, hence, for you to distinguish yourself from what everybody does, what is said of every other person, you need to go extra mile, pay the price, make sacrifices, to create a positive impression that will protect and preserve other people. For instance, every year you report to Pretoria, you write a report, Pretoria, and they check there is no inflow from the government or the systems in your report. And you have been giving and supporting, doing everything, and you still submit the report, and it happens for about 10 years. And no wonder the system, left them with certificate of legitimacy from their SAPs, from South African police, which they vowed and believed that no West African and Nigerian can work with their police. But chaplains we train, some John Foster, some Yove, they are in different police stations, carrying out their assignment
now
as a humanitarian, as a chaplains, years back till now. Memorial services, you see my name right. My surname is like their name. Nwanne. Nwanne has about 4 Nwanne, meaning the same thing. You're my brother. The same meaning, the same pronunciation, different spelling. So they will write it in their own way. So at times they thought I'm their brother. Go and use that default.
You are their brother.
Go and use that default. And the rate of suicidal mission then was like maybe 200 officers. We killed them, killed their family. But when we stepped into memorial services, began to pray for the officer, began to deploy, it came to 0. Yes.
Wow.
That you can't see an officer. It came to 0. And the memorial services for that 10 years, you see, check all the pictures, see our cops, see our officers who were committed, planting of trees in the streets,
All right, Prof, 1 second. I think we have a Nigerian online very early. It says, demonstrating, okay, no, not yet. I think we need to take a short break so that my prof can take a breather. And then we will come back and I'll begin to run the questions and the comments coming from our viewers. So we'll take a short break and we'll come back. Thank you, my producer. Thank you for staying with us to Stay Close Flow from NTA2 Lagos Network Center. And of course, we have Professor Nwanne in the house. He's a Nigerian, not a South African, but if you like to visit him in South Africa, then you have to see me, and I'll see how we can negotiate that for you. Now, okay, but quickly now, Prof, let's come back to some of the other issues on the table. Besides the fact that you're the head of the chaplains, you're also a parent.
Okay.
Now, some contentious issues on the table right now about the impoverishment Nigerians are going through, or the sense of Japanomics, or even the Yahoo, is that because the home has failed, that is why the young ones are no longer aspirational. They are only looking for the quick money. They now have the quick money mentality, and that is all they're interested in. So how do you respond to that? Because it is not just about preaching now. It's about the reality of parenting and financial discipline, even from home.
But from the statistics,
yes,
you know that even the rich japa these days.
Yes.
So if the rich japa and the young people japa, the youth japa, is it actually because of the bad economy that make them to japa? This is where you look at it critical. You know, I think it's the devaluation of naira.
As the currency is, yes.
Yeah, as the currency devaluates, and they feel that if $1,000 could have given me 350,000, and salaries are not being increased, house rents are being increased. The house rents, expenses, groceries, everything is going up, and salaries remain the same, especially for salary earners.
Yes,
it remains the same. You know, which means there is a need that if I pick up $1,000
away from here,
elsewhere, and I'm careful to save $200, $200 is more than my former $300. Now, you see, the rich also, who have the money, try to set up, you know, maybe their agencies, open offices abroad and all of that, meaning that the more dollar I cash out, you know,
the more money I bring back home.
But you know the advantage, how powerful Naira is. Naira is as powerful as you buy a land, 2 million, buy a land, 1 million, tomorrow 2 million, 1 million. It's after purchasing before it begin to grow. So that you can still use the same 700,000, some 500, and still buy a bank in a land, and it still, you know, grow. So the inflation between naira and dollar does not affect certain things. If you buy a land for 500,000 or 1 million and you're paying it off within 1 year, like through real estate, it remains. And dollar is appreciated.
Yes.
It remains the same amount of money. This is where salary earners can be able to save and bank in land, for instance, so that they can be able to grow capital to be out of
with the years
and become an entrepreneur, and as the case may be. So now the issue of job, I know is on the increasing rate because of poverty, because of joblessness, and all of that. But the question is, a jobless person, how can a jobless person raise 5 million naira to Jaba? You know, bring the 5 million to me. I will sit down and tell you how to do 5 million naira within 6 months to become 20 million. You become a millionaire with the same amount of money. You have Nigeria is one of the best places
in the world
to live and to stay, for all I know, despite the insecurity or whatever people complain of. But then is a currency difference between naira and dollar and all that hard currencies. That is what is putting people outside. When naira and dollar was like $1, $1 like cedis. Cedis is competing with dollars somehow. That's why they don't live. They live in their house, they don't pay rent. So why going somewhere else to work for what is almost equivalent to their currency?
So these are the challenges that we say we have to overcome here.
So locally, when you travel professionally because your company send you professionally and all of that. So not because you are traveling, because you are hungry, because you want to, you know, double your income and all of that, as the case may be. And this is one of the reasons why crime is on the increase. But one thing I know is that empowerment and skill acquisition. Empowerment and skill acquisition are one of the factors that helps, you know, crime that helps crime, to decrease to the lowest, rate. The more the youths are empowered,
gainfully employed,
and gainfully employed, the more they don't consider even crime.
Now, but one second, Prof. Some people are already saying, for instance, that the churches, mosques are expanding. They are growing every day. You see on the street, you can see 10 churches, 5 mosques, and all that. On that same street, you will not see one factory. You will not even see one bakery. Now, so we are having the churches and the mosques, growing so large, so huge, so big, and so quickly, and yet the skilled man or skilled boy that you have trained, he will not find any job on that same street, but he can go to either 10 churches or 10 mosques.
Okay, most churches. Do you know most churches or denominations are paying like 10,000 staffs?
Oh. In terms of?
Okay, salary.
Salary as what? Church staff?
Staff, administrative purposes, or because they're leaders, or because they're pastors, or whatever. No, beside pastors.
Yes.
Because there are ministries that have up to maybe 100,000 pastors. Yes. Now, we're talking about staff.
Yes.
Gainfully employed staff, over 5,000 to 10,000 staffs right in this country, and of a denomination that has such number of staffs. How many people have government employed? How many people are government employed? Now listen, government has no allocation to churches just like Euro, some other countries has to some churches. There's no such allocation. No such allocation. Now, and the same church is also employing people, paying them salaries. And these salaries are above minimum wage.
Okay, good. 1 second, we have a Nigerian online. The hardship in the land is much, and our government seems not to feel any concern. Is there no way they can focus on just what can boost the economy that every Nigerian can gain from? This is Chibo from Mile 2. Chibo from Mile 2.
What the government can do, well, I think one of the ways to increase employment, increase the capacity in the labor market, employing more people, is to open factories.
Yes.
Factories, companies, and all of that. And this is where we comes in. This is where we comes in. We want to make, or is now making Lagos State their economic hub.
Yes.
Africa.
For West Africa, yes.
For Africa. And not just that. The 6-in-1 mall they have in question is to all the factories, because they have factory owners, group of presidents, some gained it from their fathers, some their own, and all of that, who are among the investors' hub.
Okay.
Of week. Now, what they intend to do now is they come here, establish their plant here.
Yes.
In that 6-in-1 mall, where you have African mall, you have Euro mall, American mall, Malaysian mall, then you have a Chinese mall and Indian mall, 6-in-1 mall. What they want to do is that they bring their plant here, and at the same time, their outlet, their agents will be in their outlets in the mall, displaying their cultural accessories, materials, whatever. Their production plant will be here, phones, electronics, name it, and all that. Now, instead of Nigerians, who are the highest importers in this whole world,
yes, going to
Far East to import, yes, the same company also has their plant here, has their outlet agent here. You get in here in Lagos, place your order, they ship the goods. Now it's within. Ghanaians, Cameroonians, Africans, South Africans, they
can now come to Nigeria to buy.
One, their cost and freight.
Yes.
Cost, freight, and shipping will be very less.
Yes.
Just instead of 1 month, 2 months, it says for 1 week,
yes,
or 2 weeks.
Yes.
It's cheaper. When you want to control market value, you could be able to cut the cost of the expenses attached to the products.
Yes.
So that the products will be less expensive.
Yes.
Now, if you used to import before, we are now exporting. Nigeria will be exporting
Yes.
instead of importing.
Yes.
The things we've been exporting before, government make more money in exportation. What you used to import before, because we are still importing raw materials after all. No? We're still importing raw materials, except apart from natural raw materials, people don't know how to export before.
Yeah.
They will convert those raw materials to produce the things they produce in their nations and all of that. These are some of the programs, and these programs will relieve youths, because youths will gain employment, and they have a program systematically raising thousands of entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Thousands of entrepreneurs who stand on their own, courtesy of week, program.
All right, we'll look at that in details when the event is close by. Now, another Nigerian says there were lots of things government claimed they are put in place, but you cannot see anybody in our localities that have benefited from any of this. If they want to really do something, they should come to the grassroots. They came to campaign for election. This is Zainab from Alaba, Rago. Zainab from Alaba, Rago. Let's say thank you to Zainab.
Yeah. As a humanitarian, our aim and weak aim is not, actually, we're not focusing on what government could have done for us, because government is doing what they are doing. We are talking about what America told their people. That if you want America to be better, stop thinking about what America will do for you. Think about what you will do for America. That is my own perspective. So what we are doing now is channeling our advocating spirit into finding solution on some of those areas we think that government is not doing this. It is also our responsibility to help the government to do that. Why? Because government has given us a platform to function.
Yes.
In giving back to community, we run here and there. Giving back to community. Why do we give back to community? You give back to the community because the government, because you grew within the government, you grew within the community. So you need to go back to community to say, thank you. I grew up from this school, from this environment, and I am blessed. I come here to help those who are less, blessed. The same way, we have a platform called Nigeria. We grew up in Nigeria before we began to succeed in different parts of the world. Both those in diaspora, I'm using this opportunity to challenge them, to return their investment home.
And build this country.
Let them return the investment home. We can't scatter our forces and gain it. It is not possible. Let us put our energy together. If everybody contribute 1%, 0.%, and all of that, Nigeria will become the Nigeria we have all prayed for.
Okay, Zainab, I hope that answers your question. So don't let's limit it to just what government is going to do.
We have a structure,
yes.
Humanitarian, we have a structure that run in all local government. If we know his local government,
yes, Alabarago.
Alabarago.
Yes.
So Lagos State have a good structure. All the local government, they have their state coordinators and the executives. And Lagos State is hosting, the humanitarian program that is coming up, 8th of November. Lagos State is hosting them. So therefore, they can
be a part.
Yeah, they can be a part.
Okay. So Zainab, I hope that you have heard that, because the event is going to be held soon, so you can be a part of it and also attend and learn how Alabarago can benefit from that. Now, but let's find a way to popularize what you have just said. Again, often what we seem to see in our country is that the activities of government or the activities of governance do not always, connect, with the people at the grassroots. They don't seem to know what's going on. They don't seem to know how to benefit from it. They don't seem to know how to lock into it. So how can we change that? How can we, now that we have local government autonomy, don't you think local government autonomy should allow local government to be more active in some of the things you're talking about?
Yeah, one of the good things this regime has done is local government autonomy, just like you just mentioned. And also, but then, if local government receive allocation that belong to all the wards, and they should also hold the councillors accountable. If they don't hold the councillors accountable, just like the president should hold the governors accountable, the governors should hold, and that's what they have just done. So that local governments can breathe. Local governments also should hold, the councillors accountable. If they don't hold them accountable, because they are the grassroots agents. They're the grassroots, actors. Actors at the grassroots are the, councillors.
So if they are not held accountable,
if not held
they are still back in square one.
The people are still suffering and crying. They won't feel the impact of the allocation released to the local government.
Wow. So the challenge is that we as citizens must also wake up.
There must be supervision. There must be supervision. Supervision submits the report. The report brings you for accountability. Now, there must be a supervisional structure.
Now,
from the top to the to the local government, there must be a supervisional structure.
Once we don't have that structure in place, that means we have already failed again.
It will be this structure will be independent from the state house, national house, and all of that. Let them be like caretaker committee or whatever.
Yes.
You know, give it any name. You know, that would directly become the eye of the federation in those localities.
And across the states.
This is the only way government can work in this part of the country. Okay, for instance, whenever I come in contact, I walk into offices or see people who occupy one office or the other demonstrate lordship over the people, I say, if this one become a governor, a president, Nigeria will even be worse. I don't hear, you know, most of them will say it's because of the system of the country that have changed the mindset of, I say, no, not everybody's mindset, you know, is changed. Not everybody's mindset. To me, it's either it is working or it is not working. It's either you are living for a purpose or you should be dead. Why are you living? Why are you living?
So now we're asking Nigerians, so we're telling Nigerians, you must define your purpose in life by what you contribute to your environment. Yes,
and start taking responsibility, even as a Nigerian.
Yes.
You know, see, they said, to what you forgive, you are delivered from. To what you hate, you end up become. To what you forgive, you are delivered from. To what you hate, you continue to hate, you end up become. As you keep hating Nigeria, if they give you opportunity, you'll be worse than the leaders you hate.
Wow.
If you want to do better, forgive them. Be
and work towards, yes.
Work towards change. I said, working towards change. You are changing by changing the things they couldn't change. So you are becoming a better Nigerian. That's the only way to become a better leader. That's the only way to become. The reason why people will come to you, help us to drive our message home, humanitarian. Because I watched you over the years in different places, use their resources, use their life, risk their life, you know, to fight for the same cause. So therefore, whatever that is given to you is still going for the same purpose. But where somebody come out who have not entered police college, for instance, become a police general, you know what will happen to such country?
Okay, all right. Prof is trying to say to us that the challenge is not just about pointing fingers. The challenge actually is about how we can raise solutions to some of. Yes. Okay. Now let's now get back to the Gen XYZ, the Nigerians who are the leaders naturally. Because of age, if you look at the figures, the data coming from the Bureau of Statistics, we are saying that nearly 65% of Nigerians are actually, you know, young people. Now they are going to be running the nation in the next few years. So how do this your vision that you have shared now? How do you want to reorientate them? Let them see that in their mindset, they don't want to be just blaming somebody or hating somebody, but actually seeing how they can contribute, like you're saying, to the solutions Nigeria requires.
One of the solutions, please. One of the solutions is to engage the youths on, number one, engage the youths on communication. Let's use the word education.
Yes.
And in the area of education, everything is education. You know, schooling is different from education.
Yes,
now,
yes.
In the area of education, we're talking about skill acquisition. Education brings out your skills. You know, one, in the area of technology. Technology.
Yes.
In the area of communication. Now, you are not talking about education. You're talking about communication. And at the same time, leadership.
Leadership training.
Yeah, leadership training. Leadership training, because one thing skill acquisition does, skill acquisition, you know, is like a task force. It enforces into the system, but then at the same time, skill acquisition has a way, you know, to culture you, you know, on leadership. Because you can't go through apprenticeship. When you
Yes.
go through apprenticeship,
Yes.
what are you learning? You are learning leadership. You are learning accountability.
Yes.
You are learning discipline.
Yes.
You are learning financial management.
Yes.
You are learning, all of them is there. This is what training does. And that's the reason why in all the programs, that WIG has, we don't want to joke with the empowerment section and skill acquisition, wherein you train people, prepare them, empower them, even support them to stand alone.
And start.
And stand alone, so they can be able to impart the same knowledge and raise other people. And trust me, by the time you roll it 5,000 and 5,000 produce 15,000 and you sustain it, you might put 200,000 people, 200,000 entrepreneurs in the next 10 or 15 years.
Can change the whole country.
But we must have to start somewhere.
That is it. So where is the starting point? That now is the question. Where is the starting point?
Starting point is that on the 8th of November, 4 Point by Sheraton, WIG is flagging up their project on youth empowerment and skill acquisition. Is one of their top projects they are powering. And between 2025 to 2030, they are guaranteeing that 5,000 Nigerians will stand on their feet without their capital, without their money, and they can be able to help other people. So we have a starting point, because we've been building the structure over the years, and now we are out.
Okay, all right, so we look forward to see how we can get 5,000 Nigerians at least to be ready to fill the streets and fill up the country. Now, but let's also look at something that somebody says, now, which is part of what you have mentioned here. That is mental health and economic freedom. Some people are saying that the orientation, the mentality most Nigerians or the young Nigerians have right now will be the fact that well, okay, the Yahoo mentality is that the money must come now.
Indomie mindset.
Indomie mindset. Okay, so how do you want to change all that during this campaign that we're running? 1 second before you answer. Yes, in Nigerian Online, it says, the way this country is, education is becoming a scam. 1 second. For instance, a primary school holder interviewing and questioning a prof or a doctorate degree holder, all because he or she is a politician. Where do we go from here? David from Shagamu. That's right now, seemingly, education has become a scam in Nigeria.
But I mentioned something like this before. There's a difference between education and schooling.
Yes.
Education is different from schooling.
Yes.
I started with technical secondary. From there, I went into trade test. Trade center.
Yes.
Now, in trade center, this is where you go beyond mathematics, calculation. I did automobile engineering.
Yes.
In the trade center and all of that. So now, having passed through skill acquisition, technical center, so I understand that there are something that will come into you can never take away from anyone. From SS1 to SS3, I know the difference from SS3
yes.
to SS5.
Yeah.
SS6.
Yes.
For instance. So when so I tested SS1 to SS3. I tested my senior secondary in a trade center.
Yes.
Where I begin to learn skills. I begin to learn practical ways to survive, to succeed.
Yes.
And all of that. Right from my primary school, during the exhibition in the local governments and all that, I produced tipper, tripping sand.
Yes.
Every electronic stuffs white children can produce in China, I produced all of them. I fixed wristwatches, I fixed radios. I didn't learn them. If I was picked up then, probably we would
today
we'll be
manufacturing
company, radio manufacturing country in this country, because I was doing it naturally. I was having inspiration, doing it. I was displaying it, displaying it. Do you know that I succeeded to set up energy house and gave light to the whole of Nwanne family, as large as it was, using condemned battery, torchlight battery. And I gave light, and my personal room, was the energy house. Where were these things coming from? This was inherent. This was systems I came into this world with. There were ancient systems you represented, but you have nobody to help you to foster them. That is where the challenge is. So what I'm trying to say is this, I passed through secondary school,
Yes.
I passed through
Schooling,
technical
but
schools.
education,
So I understand
yes.
that schooling is different, not because motivational speakers says it. I understand the difference, that schooling is different from education. Education brings out the skills in you. Education means worth from within.
So,
worth from within. Why schooling positions you for slavery, job, salary, this and all of that. That's what.
Thank you very much. He's a professor, so he knows exactly what the schooling elements will just give you, the certification. He has several certificates. He's not talking about that. He's talking about education that will come from within and therefore give you the future that you need. Thank you so much, Prof, for coming on the program. As your name says, we are brothers. So
yes.
Thank you, my brother, for coming on the show. We hope to have you again, so that we can review, the future for Nigeria.
And also give opportunities for some Nigerians. At least after this event,
yes,
we can start from here and see how to use this platform, to engage people that will pass through the first skill acquisition training.
All right, so he's promising us that Close Flow will be able to give you opportunity to join that skill acquisition opportunity. That's what he's saying here. So stay close with us so that you can be a winner of that opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So until next week again, it's always never over on Close Flow. Go to all our social media handles. Go and see what you can grab from Professor Nwanne. And be sure to be ready to join that opportunity.